By the time I was able to catch up again with the Formula One circus in Italy, Clark had won the British Grand Prix, Hume the German, and Brabham the Canadian. Hume now had a 7-point lead. Black Jack was certainly living up to his name, but why he looked so gloomy with his team doing so well, I cannot think. Honda had returned to Formula One at the beginning of the season with mixed fortunes. They had missed the French Grand Prix altogether, and now in Italy, Surtees was equipped with a new Hondola, a hastily constructed cocktail of Lola chassis and Honda V12 engine. Lotus had 3 cars, the regular Hill and Clark, plus an extra car for local man Giancarlo Baghetti, who had not achieved very much in motor racing since his remarkable debut win at Reims 6 years ago. Indeed, he'd only driven in 2 Grand Prix since 1964, both of them at Monza. Lorenzo Bandini had sadly been killed at Monaco, and Enzo Ferrari had decreed that there were no drivers left in Italy capable of handling a Formula One Ferrari. So the Scuderia was down to just 1 car for Chris Amon. Joe Siffert was still with Rob, but he hadn't finished a race since his 4th place at Le Mans. BRM now had 3 H16 engine cars for Stewart, Spence and Irwin. Stewart's car, number 34, was quickest of the 3, and he qualified 7th fastest. Tony Rudd must have wished he'd opted for a simpler engine configuration as JYS sat it out on the pit wall before setting out on his final session. Saturday's weather was glorious, to begin with, and with the second practice session not due to begin until late afternoon, there was time to wander the paddock and take in the sights. Brabham Repcos have been a model of reliability this year, with both Hume and Brabham having finished in the points in 5 of the last 6 races. And yet Jack still looked gloomy. The same cannot be said for Lotus and the new Cosworth V8. Jim Clark had won the Dutch and British Grand Prix, but there'd been a string of breakdowns, and poor Graham Hill had only got a 49 to the finish once in 6 races. As Clark set off for more practice laps, I thought that if there's one place the DFV will sing, it will be here at Monza. Next out was Jackie Stewart, eager to improve on his 7th place grid position. Guy Ligier's Cooper Maserati was, as usual, scheduled for the back of the grid. The Works Cooper had been blessed with more, as Maserati had reworked the cylinder heads for this race. Enzo Ferrari was justifying his lack of faith in Italian drivers. Even Scarfiotti, who had won for him here last year, was not good enough. "He's only a hill climber," proclaimed the Commendatore. Eamon carried the hopes of the Tifosi single-handed and was fifth fastest with his new car. The Ferrari V12 now has 4 valves per cylinder. For his part, last year's winner, Ludovico Scarfiotti, had been invited to join Dan Gurney's All-American Eagles. Bruce McLaren now had his own Formula One car to drive. John Surtees discussed the new Hondola with his Japanese employers. His best time netted him 9th on the grid. And then, all of a sudden, the heavens opened and a torrential downpour hit the Monza Park, putting paid to any chance of improvement before the race. Jim Clark was a happy man, knowing that the rain had washed away any chance of his pole position being usurped. As the rain cleared, Scarfiotti took the Eagle flying on a soaking track. Monza was back to its sunny self for race day, and all of Italy seemed to be there to watch a race in which 5 different makes with 5 different engines would fill the first 2 rows on the grid. More the pity, then, that at its home Grand Prix, Ferrari could only field 1 car to satisfy its thousands of fans. The pits garages were full of mechanics making last-minute adjustments. Honda had taken their car away for major overnight changes,